topic of my workshop is What is my true purpose in life? Matthew Kelly, in his book Rediscover Jesus, poses some questions we all ask ourselves in different ways. What am I here for? What matters most? What matters least? What are my unique talents and abilities? What will my contribution be? I'd like to preface this workshop with a quote I read that has had a great positive impact in my life. It is from Andy Andrews' book called The Butterfly Effect. Every single thing you do matters. You have been created as one of a kind. You have been created in order to make a difference. You have within you the power to change the world. The Fleming story. He was a poor Scottish farmer. One day, while trying to make a living for his family, he heard a cry coming from a nearby bog. He dropped his tools and ran to the bog. There, mired to his waist in black muck, was a terrified boy, screaming and struggling to free himself. The farmer saved the lad from what could have been a slow and terrifying death. The next day, a fancy carriage pulled up to the Scotchman's sparse surroundings. An elegantly dressed nobleman stepped out and introduced himself as the father of the boy the farmer had saved. "I want to repay you," the nobleman said. "You saved my son's life." The farmer replied, "No, I can't accept payment for what I did." At that moment, the farmer's own son came to the door of the family's one-room cottage. "Is that your son?" the nobleman asked. "Yes," the farmer replied proudly. "I'll make you a deal," said the nobleman. "Let me provide him with a level of education my own son will enjoy. If the lad is anything like his father, he'll no doubt grow to be a man we will both be proud of." And that he did. The farmer's son attended the very best schools and in time graduated from St. Mary's Hospital Medical School in London and went on to become known throughout the world as the noted Sir Alexander Fleming, the discoverer of penicillin. Years afterwards, the same nobleman's son, who was saved from the bog, was stricken with pneumonia. What saved his life this time? Penicillin. The name of the nobleman? Lord Randolph Churchill. His son's name? Sir Winston Churchill. The butterfly effect. In 1963, Edward Lorenz presented a theory that stated a butterfly could flap its wings and set air molecules in motion that in turn would move other air molecules, which in turn would move other air molecules, eventually becoming able to influence weather patterns on the other side of the planet. His theory was treated as an interesting myth until the 1990s, when physics professors worldwide working together proved that the butterfly effect was accurate, viable, and authentic. It is known as the law of sensitive dependence upon initial conditions and applies to the first movement of any form of matter, including people. Over 150 years ago, one man made one move that still dramatically affects how we live today. Colonel Joshua Chamberlain, a teacher from Maine, on July 2nd, 1863, was in charge of the soldiers of the 20th Maine Regiment. He was ordered to hold the line at Little Round Top in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. They held back 5 charges from the Confederate forces and were about to face a 6th without any ammunition or reinforcements. Chamberlain ordered his men to fix bayonets on their rifles and charge. They defeated the enemy and held the line. He and his 80 men set off a butterfly effect that lasts to this day. Historians have determined that if Chamberlain had not charged that day, the Confederates would have won Gettysburg. Further, historians tell us that had the rebels won Gettysburg, the South would have won the Civil War, and the United States would not exist as it does today. Your life and what you do with it each day matters forever. We make a difference each time we move, act, or do something. It is the very beating of your heart has meaning and purpose. Your actions have far greater value than silver or gold. Nobody else forms you. The Holy Spirit and you do it together. God has called each one of us. Isaiah chapter 41, verses 8 through 10 says, "You, my servant, whom I have chosen, my friend, whom I have brought from afar. I called you from the ends of the earth. I said to you, be mine. I have chosen you. I will not abandon you." Since we believe that we are created in God's image for a relationship with Him, being in that relationship is the only thing that will ultimately satisfy our souls. In the Gospel of John, chapter 6, verse 35, Jesus says, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." Who am I? Why am I here? Jesus gave us the Holy Spirit and its gifts on Pentecost. Through using these and the resulting fruits, we can find our purpose. The purpose in life is to find your gifts, but the meaning of life is to give your gifts away. The questions I'd like you to reflect on are in the first part of this talk. What am I here for? What matters most? What matters least? What are my unique talents and abilities? What will my contribution be? The words to the song, Ordinary Miracles, if you read through it, I think may help you with answering some of these questions. I also have given you a diagram which if you make the circles and write in each one that which you love, that which you are good at, that is what the world needs, and that which you can be paid for. If you put these, you will come up with your passion, mission, profession, vocation, and where they all intersect together, where the blue star is your purpose.